it's Jenny. I thought it was time to wrap up the ayearathon for August and the 77 Readathon that took place between the 10th and between the 4th and the 10th of August. It was a week. I thought I did great during this readathon, or those readathons. They took place the same week, so the ayearathon had the theme of middle grade books, that is. So I chose books that were directed towards middle grade, or that are thought of as middle grade books. So I thought it was a good idea because usually they're short and easy to read, so it was also a good thing for the 77 Readathon. The 77 Readathon was a readathon where you were supposed to read 7 books in 7 days. I almost managed that. The problem was I chose a rather thick book as the last book. I thought I would be having more reading time than I had during the weekend. So I read 6.5 books. 6.5 books instead of 7, but I'm so pleased with that. I'm so happy that I actually got that much read. And the total page count came to 1,347, so that's also great. So yeah, I'll get started and show you what books I actually read. On Monday, the 4th, I started this one. Unfortunately, this is not translated into English, but it should sound something like The Antiquarian Blue Mirror, which is the first part in a series called David and Larissa, and it's written by Martin Widmark. It's sort of a crime novel thing. The children in this book are 12 years old. They've just started 12 or 13. They've just started 7th grade. That is in the Swedish school system. I'm not entirely sure if it's the same in the American and British systems. Sorry about that. But the children are 12 or 13 years old when this book starts. They've just come back from summer break. The stories in this series are told from David's point of view. It's David that tells the stories. I'm sorry, my voice isn't what it's supposed to be. So in this book, David starts school again, and there is a new girl who starts. She's from Russia, but her grandparents, I think it was, not entirely sure, are Swedish, so she knows Swedish, hence that is why she's starting Swedish school without learning Swedish beforehand. Her name is Larissa, and she's super smart. And David is the he's the guy in the background of the class. He doesn't make too much of a noise, and so on. So they get teamed off together, or have to sit together in class. So David falls in love with Larissa, and so on and so forth. David's parents are out on a journey in Africa, where they're supervising something project. So he lives with a old man called Melchior. He has an antiquarian, and hence the title. One day he disappears, and David and Larissa takes on the job of finding him, and they find out in interesting stuff about Melchior as well during that search. So yeah, a crime novel with some fictional or supernatural elements to it. I finished this one on Monday of the Readathon and started the second book, which is called The 13th Guest. I also finished this one on Monday. In this one it's more sort of an existential questions about the existence. People are cloned. It starts off with David and Larissa's class going on a field trip with a sleepover at near an old mine. And one night David and Larissa sort of explore the mine and find on the first hand a copy of her that seems to be a cloned copy, cloned person of her, and then they find cells in which they find Da Vinci, Columbus and other scientists. The thing or the essence that have brought the old scientists alive sort of wants the scientists to explain why humanity is now on the brink of destroying the Earth. They want to destroy the Earth, or at least stop the wealthy part of the Earth from reproducing, and yeah, set back the evolution a lot of years. When you say it like that, it sounds like a very deep book. This series is very action-packed, and it also weaves in facts about different subjects and different, like physics, history and stuff like that, and you don't see, or it doesn't appear as you're reading something factual. Instead, it sort of enters your brain, and after a moment or some pages later you realize, I learned something. So I really like this series. I gave these two books 4 stars on Goodreads. On Tuesday then I thought, I'm a book ahead almost. So I picked up a bit of a thicker book. It's this one is the Swedish translation. I need to check. It's Dork Diaries: Tales from a Not So Fabulous Life. It's the first book in the Dork Diaries series by Rachel Renee Russell. It tells the story about Nikki, who's 14. She starts a new school. It's a private school where she's got a stipendium. Is it called stipendium? She got something to help pay for her studying there, because her father got the contract to be the bug exterminator for that school, so that's why she can go there. At first I thought Nick was a bit childish. You get to follow her a couple of months at the beginning of her... she's starting 8th grade, at least when you compare it to what's it called? The Swedish school system, I think. She wants to become one of the popular girls, but instead she's sort of unfriends them and becomes their enemy, sort of. At first I thought Nikki was a bit childish. The book seemed a bit childish for being written by or about a 14-year-old girl, but she grows on you, and evolves as a character through the book, given it's just a couple of months, but anyway. I really liked it at the end, and I really want to continue this series, so I gave it 2 stars. No, sorry, 3 stars on Goodreads, because it grew on me. It grew on me a lot. It was an easy read, as you can see, it's pictures and easy text and a lot of spacing, so it went rather quickly. I read it in 2 days. Then I picked up, on Wednesday, I picked up the 3rd part of the David and Larissa series. It's The Fool's Island by Martin Widmark. Here they visit an island outside the city where they live, and there they find strange, a little sort of cemetery and a mental hospital. The island isn't big, so yeah, and they wonder what the hell happened there. So they investigate. And in this book you get to learn a bit about quantum physics or whatever it's called in English. I haven't looked it up, so that was a bit stupid of me not to do. So yeah, it's still crime story, sort of, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars as well. Then I picked up this one. It's the 4th book in the David and Larissa series, and I translated this lovely title to The Sami Shaman's Song. It's about the Samis in the north of Sweden. It's about their right to the ground where they live and where they have their reindeers, and sort of stuff like that. It was also a very good book. It wasn't as much supernatural elements in this one, but a bit. So I really liked it. I really liked this series, and gave it 4 stars. And the final book I finished was The Girl on the Painting, which is supposed to be a horror story for middle graders. It's by Rebecca Ålund. Sorry, a bit hard to speak. It's about a girl who's 12 years old. Her name is Ella. Her parents buys a summer house, and she starts getting nightmares. And in that summer house there's things moving around, things falling down, and strange things happening. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say. So yeah, it's sort of the things happening there, the ghost things happening there, sort of connects to a boy Ella meets at school, who's 2 years older than her. He's 14, and his troubles at home with his mother. So yeah, it was a sort of interesting book. I only gave it 2 stars because I wasn't scared by it, and I thought it was a bit odd, almost preaching, kind of like, I don't know how to explain exactly what I thought about it, but it wasn't really what I thought it would be. So I was a bit disappointed, hence the 2 stars. So yeah, it was a rather short read actually, so that was good. Then I picked up this one. It's the Fire Chronicle by John Stevens. It's the 2nd book in the series, in the trilogy, The Book of Beginnings. And this one, I only read half of it. I came to page 194 out of 367. So I won't be telling you anything about this. This will come up in I think I'll do a trilogy review when I've read the third part that comes out in Swedish in September. But I can tell you a bit more about it in my August wrap-up, because I've read it, but for this wrap-up it's not going to be told anything more than I read half of it. So yeah, that was the books I read for the ayearathon in August and the 77 Readathon. So it was 6.5 books and 1,347 pages. So I hope you got some. That would be one book tip, because it's only one of them that is translated from English. The other ones are only available in Swedish, unfortunately. But if you're a Swede watching this, then you might have gotten some interesting book tips. So yeah, I was happy, as I said before, with the outcome of these readathons. I thought they went great, and yeah, that's it. I'll see you in my next video. Happy reading, people!